Hello, ladies and gentle ladies. We are back with another stream. And yeah, we're going to be doing some Industria again today. Okay, before I start, I am just going to try something, and this might actually cut out the stream. But I'm going to see if I can stop OBS from complaining, because it still seems to think that I'm streaming twice, which is quite weird. So I'm quickly just going to see if I can fix that, but this might stop if I do that. So okay, that might have stopped the stream. um, is everyone still here? I'm gonna quickly have a look. It looks to still be fine. Oh, my headphones are not plugged in. Oh. I think it's not still here. Oh no, it is still here. Is it still here? Can you still hear me? Type 5 in chat if you can still hear me. That's how we'll know. Okay. That's good. That's good. So you can still hear me. Okay. So hello, Agent Cryo. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Romeo. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Demon Dev. Welcome to the stream. Okay, this is good. That means you can still hear me. Streamer.bot seems to be working too. So we also have the chat working. Things are going well so far. There you go. My camera's working. Hello, Ardash. Welcome to, or Adash. I said that completely wrong. Welcome to the stream. Just going to bring chat up on my other monitor. And we should be good. So, what are we going to be doing today? Well, basically what I said we're going to do at the end of the last stream, which is going to be adding a motor. It should be fairly simple, I think. I hope. So, I have created the model. So that should be good. And let's check. All right, I was doing that. We won't do that right now. Okay. Okay, all should be good, actually. I'm somewhat surprised that everything seems to be working. So we'll get rid of that. Okay. Okay, wonderful. So here's the model, by the way. The texturing is weird because these aren't... Yeah, this is a slight problem, I guess, with modded entity models. If you have a scale that's not an integer, then the UV doesn't work. I'm not really sure how to fix that other than doing the UV manually, which would be very annoying. So, or I guess just not having parts that are that size, but to have it like this, it kind of has to be. So, I'm not sure what we're going to do about that, but anyways, this is the model. So it's very basic. I've basically just stolen it from the pump jack. You can see there's the motor back here. I basically just stole this and I just added the angled parts instead of the you know, weird thing that it had before. So I think this is the plan. Basically this little rod here is going to spin. That's basically all this is going to have animated. So let's just export it, I suppose. So we'll save that. So this is the texture I'm saving first. So here we go. Industrial. Okay. So we're going to go resources, assets, industrial, textures, block. And I'm going to put it in here. I'm just going to call this a motor. I don't think this is anything special really. And then I'll also save the BB model and the Java class. Yes. So first is the BB model. I will just call this the motor model. And then also the class as well. And model. So today we are going to be working on the motor, and we're going to make it function as a block, and then we're also going to make it so we can add it onto the drill, which we can also bring up in Blockbench as well. God, drill, here we go. We're basically going to have the motor sitting on here, I think is the plan. I actually don't know if that's going to work. Should we try this real quick? We can kind of put it in here and just kind of see what it looks like. Obviously the texturing's wrong, but that's to be expected. The pivot point is also not great. Yeah, it's kind of not really going to work how I wanted it to because of the size I set this thing to be. Also, that's not... Yeah, I was going to say that didn't look right. Because basically, for anyone who wasn't here for the previous stream, my idea is that basically this motor will be used to turn these kind of things here, which turns the what I'm calling a spindle, or I guess a cable wheel. That's the idea. It can't be perpendicular though if we're doing that, so that's not actually going to work. And in that case, I guess... Hello, Basti. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the €6 donation. Are they called super chats? Called super chats, right? I'm just going to call them donations. Sure. Thank you for the €6. That is much appreciated. And good evening. Yes, it is a decent evening actually. There's lots of fireworks for some reason. I don't know if I'm completely forgetting something. If it's some special evening tonight. I don't think so. I don't know. But there's lots of fireworks. So I don't know what that's about. I don't think it is a party because there's lots. It's not just like from one place. At least it doesn't sound like it's from one place. I don't know. Maybe there's something going on today that I'm completely unaware of. But that's nice, isn't it? Okay, what we could do is like have the motor like here and have like a platform for it. Like what I'm thinking is something like this. This might be really weird. I'm just going to test this out and see what it looks like, and then if it works or if it doesn't, we'll decide. The problem is kind of like that. It needs to be like one or ideally two out. I guess I could actually not have it like that. I could have it like this. Is this... Wait. Why does that... Oh, is this 2 offset? It is. Oh, okay. Sure, 2 offset's fine then. So like something like this, I guess. So if it's 2 around on each side, and then obviously we don't want it floating, so I guess there would have to be some kind of like a thing for this to sit on, which I think is going to be quite weird. But I'm not sure if this is really the best way to do this. Is that centered? That's not centered, is it? Is this going to be possible to get centered? Possibly not. Oh, is it oddly shaped? It looks oddly shaped. Oh god, I keep pressing on things. It's obviously expanding all of the groups. Okay. If I do that. Okay, no, it actually does have to be one more up. Let's move this up, and let's move this up by 1. And then I guess like just do that. It's hard to tell what it would actually look like, to be honest, because obviously, you know, I'm thinking like rotating this. So let's assume this part right here is rotating, right? I don't think that pivot's actually centered, is it? If this was rotating, it needs to then somehow rotate this. That's not really going to work anyways, is it? In hindsight, the only way would be like if it like went through there. But then this also isn't really at the same height for some reason. I don't know why. Is this it is weirdly, oh, because this whole thing is at a weird height, because I think I designed it so that this was at the exact height that this ends or something. I did some weird thing to get that to be placed correctly. So I don't think this is really going to do what I want it to do. So we might need a different solution. What other solution is there? I mean, it could work if I remove the rotation for this real quick, because that's a bit weird, right? So what if I did this? So like, I could kind of get this aligned like that, but it's going to be going through the middle of this, which is going to just not really work. So basically what I'm trying to do is we have this here, right? This thing here. And this needs to be able to spin. You know what? Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to load up the game. And I'll kind of show you what I mean in the game. Because I think this will make more sense. Oh, also, don't worry about this right here. I was basically going to make it so when you select a block, for example, this one, you know how voxel shapes are obviously axis aligned, right? So they can't be like rotated. What I was going to do is I was going to have it so the shape would follow the actual model, which is what this code would do. That obviously doesn't work because, yes, this is wrong. I need to fix this real quick. So we'll do that. We need to do the super, so super render layer, get entity solid. There it is. And then spin rod will be under this .main. Textured model data, yes. Model data, yes. Model part data. Yeah, that's all fine. Set angles can go bye-bye. And then we replace the floats in here with a single integer. It would be nice if someone at some point fixed the plugin to do that so that we don't have to do this every single time. But for the foreseeable future, I don't see that happening. So let's try again. Okay, so basically, yeah. The idea is this thing here will spin and it will let down a drill head that will come down here. But for obviously the drill to go down, the wire around this needs to spin. So that means that this needs to spin, right? So this needs to be able to, that's not pivoted. It needs to spin around like this. But the only way that can obviously happen is if these two things are spinning. Are those selected? They are not. Which these are also not pivoted, apparently. That's great. So those and these need to be able to spin. That hasn't worked. Why has that not worked? But why are these not spinning? Oh, because you can't select a group and parts. Okay, anyways, you get the point, right? But obviously for those to be able to spin, there has to be something spinning it. So my idea is that I have a motor. But the motor can't spin it because it's attached to this. So I probably need to not have it attached to that. Stick a gear to it. Yeah, I suppose that would work, wouldn't it? That would work, actually. You're way too smart, Bassie. Scares me. But yes, that would work, I suppose. Oh, where am I? Oh, where's the drill head? Guess it wasn't in there. Okay, I need to fix that. So yeah. I guess... Yeah, I guess that would work, wouldn't it? So basically, what you're saying is we put, like... how do we do this? So if we move this... be like there, just for the sake of putting it there, I guess. Or sort of there. And then basically what you're suggesting, I guess it actually needs to go further away, really, is that we have like what am I selecting right now? What am I selecting, bro? I don't know what that was. So there'll be some kind of like gear. No, Wide, this is not a surprise stream. I literally told you on... What day was it? Saturday? Monday? Whenever I last streamed. I literally told you that that I was going to be streaming today. So yeah, I guess I have some kind of gear here, right? And then some kind of gear... Obviously not exactly like this. Is very hard to model when it's not textured properly. But some kind of thing like this, right? so that basically this can spin with the rod here, right, like that, and then that will cause this to spin, which in turn spins this, which in turn spins, can't quite select the middle piece. Oh, I have selected the middle piece, which in turn spins this. Yeah, I see. That would work. Sure. There is one very minor problem. That is that, yeah. The problem really is that means I have to somehow actually, like, do that. Oh, what is happening? Envelope. Oh, my. Oh, God. Summer anymore. Fuck my. Ow. I've detangled. Put the motor to the right so the drill has space when it's pulled up. Yes, that's a good point. Well, actually, it doesn't really matter because the drill head, when it's pulled up, sits down here. It actually doesn't really matter. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. But I think it probably actually does make more sense to be over here. The problem is, like, where do I actually put the motor? I feel like having it just on a giant rod coming out of the bottom here isn't really great. Now the whole way I designed this model is not great, is it? Is what I'm realizing. I'm not a huge fan of having it like that, because obviously that means it then intersects with the beam here, which isn't really good. Yeah, let's quickly move this over and see what that looks like. I'm not sure what the plan for this is then. Let me just quickly get rid of these. You'd put a worm gear on top of the normal gear? What is a worm gear? I have no idea what a worm gear is. I guess the problem is really, the problem is with having the actual thing here, right? I think it looks fine being there, but it just doesn't really practically work being there. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to quickly delete the texture from Blockbench so that we can actually see stuff, you know? And I'm going to quickly color these. Well, let's make them red. Sure, it doesn't really matter. So if we do this, right? And then, but the question is, how, okay, let's say I do some kind of like, ooh, that would be 5 by 5, and then that's also 5 by 5. Those don't actually, they're not close enough, are they? So this actually needs to come one to the one that way. And then this needs to come one that way. And apparently this is part of that. It's not meant to be part of that. So this needs to be part of this, I guess. Okay. This isn't going to be exactly in the right place, though. Okay, let's duplicate that real quick. I guess it can be part of the spin rod. It doesn't really matter, does it? So like that, basically, right? You could look up what a worm gear is and then put it on top of the normal gear so that shaft is facing. Oh, wait. Okay, I still don't know what a worm gear is, which I think doesn't help. Okay, I'm going to Google a worm gear. I don't know. What is that? So it like rotates the like it rotates it basically. Is that what it does? So basically you're saying like you would have the rotation like right, I think I understand. So basically you would have the motor here, right? And then you would have a worm gear. Right, let me try something here. In that case. Let's go 90 degrees. I think I kind of understand what you mean. But basically, I can have the motor here, right? This will come out only to like there, right? And then it will still have a gear on the end of this. But then what it will have is like a yeah, the problem with that is basically because this comes in at the same height as this, at least basically what Google's telling me is the worm gear would have to be above it. So that wouldn't really work. Honestly, I think just having it here is fine. The tower is weird though. And it also doesn't really work. But that's partially because it's too big, I think. I just scale it down by 1. Like that. And then if I can like somehow connect the tower, I guess, to like this, right? Because otherwise it's like not kind of supported or anything. Here we go. So like, this isn't great, but something like this. And then probably not exactly like that, to be fair. Like that, basically. It's weird. If I duplicate this, though, maybe, and put it down here. Here we go. Oh, sure, I'll connect it through the whole thing then. Fine. So, like, something like that, I guess. Can I do that at the top? Not really, no. Okay. I mean, it's still a bit weird. It could maybe work. Like maybe... I mean, it's really hard to say without like seeing it in game, I guess. Because we're only talking about it being like that high, so 3 blocks high basically. Bounding box with this is kind of wrong. It should be, yeah, like it should be 4 blocks, not 3 blocks high. But which isn't too high. I think it's probably fine. I don't know what the hell a bevel gear is, Basti. I know nothing about that kind of thing. Maybe you'll have to enlighten me at some point. I think this could work though, at least for now. Even though changing it would probably mean redoing the whole thing, I imagine. So if it was something like this, then now, yeah, that's fine, isn't it? That's fine. And just to confirm, we can't like connect it at the top anywhere. No. There is a slight problem here though, and that is that it's fine. Who cares? Okay, but if I grab this, I'm also going to grab these. Oh, what happened there? Why did it do that? Wait, what happened there? Why has it done that? You not do that? Okay, it's like weirdly rotated them. Why is it? I don't know why it's done that. But sure. So do that and then do that. That's also now wrong. Why is that? Okay. Oh, has it also moved it? Wait, why does this look different? That's too close, isn't it? I think it's meant to be... Oh, it has rotated it, hasn't it? Or is it... Oh, I don't know what's happened. Something changed. I don't know what changed, but something changed. But that's meant to be like there, I think. And that's there. And I find that one, which I'll connect there. And apparently this is once again also weirdly offset. Sure, I'll just make that into, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm thinking then, I guess. So if I take that out, okay, and I'll actually have to make a new model specifically for this, I guess. I don't want a generic model. I want a modded entity. Fabric. Paste. And yes, I guess I will keep it in the same place. Sure. The spin rod, this whole thing is going to spin. But this thing here is going to spin differently. So I will group that separately. And oh, I should also set the pivot points of everything here. Go. And I'll make this called something else. The I'm gonna call it the connecting gear, because I kind of know what that means in my head. And then I think the rest is fine. The rest doesn't really need pivot points set, but I will do it anyways. These actually might need their own group, when I think about it. I'll just call this rod gear. Sure, that'll do. Boom, boom, boom. So, if I create the texture, nice. Yep, obviously the only problem with this texture is going to be, oh, are those fine now? Why do they look fine? These shouldn't be fine. Okay, then they're not quite fine, but they're okay. Oh, it's these that are wrong, right? Yeah. Okay. I'll fix that somehow at some point in the future. I don't know how, but I'm gonna figure it out. So here we go. Source main resources, assets, industria, textures, block. What am I gonna call this? The drill motor. Sure, we'll call it drill motor. Not quite what it is, but it will do. Drill motor model. And then we're going to do source client Java dev 30 industria model drill motor model. Nice. We don't need to touch this at all, so we can just discard that. don't need that anymore. And yeah, that's fine too. In fact, we can just close Blockbench. Okay. Hello, Wide. Welcome back. Things are going well, I think. We are now going to create the layer location for this. How do you do this? I completely forgot. You just do, yeah, you do industrial.id, which is the motor, and then main. Yes, that's correct. No, we're adding new content this stream. Wide. We are not, yeah, we're not just fixing things today. Well, yeah, it's kind of new. It's not like new. I mean, we're still working on the drill, but it's new as in like slightly different, not just fixing bugs. So I consider that a win. Yep, that's fine. I wish IntelliJ would auto import like Eclipse did. I think there is a setting you can do to set it, but I have no idea what it is. Yeah, I'm learning gear types apparently. I now know what a worm gear is, I guess. No, I'm pretty sure I said I was going to stream on Friday. I'm pretty sure I said I was going to stream on Friday at 10. No, not 10, 7. I probably said it at the very end. Okay, we've got to register these layer locations. So let's do that. And I forgot how I did that. Where's that? Here it is. I don't think I actually need to like do this. But oh well. Like I think you only actually have to do this for entities. But kind of too late now anyways. So that's what we're doing. I need methods to get those parts real quick, don't I? So get I'll get the connecting gear, and then I'll also get the rod gear. There we go. Good. I don't actually care about the spin rod. The spin rod, though, is part of the main. And then the rod gear is part of the spin rod. And then the connecting gear, I think, is part of the rod gear. I've kind of actually already forgot. So let's just double check. The connecting gear is not part of the rod gear. It's just part of the spin rod. It kind of should be part of the... no, I guess it doesn't really matter. Because I'm going to do it programmatically anyways. So just do spin rod. Settings editor general auto import. Settings editor general auto import. Aha. Apply. Oh, lag. That made IntelliJ lag for a second. Well, hopefully that works then. Let's remove the janky comment because we don't care about comments. That. Oh, I don't think I actually meant to do that. Okay, that's both of those done. Now we just need to come into the how do we want to do this actually? Let's do the actual motor block first. And then we'll move on to actually making the motor available in the drill itself. So did I actually register the drill block or not? No, the motor. God, I'm getting confused. I didn't, apparently. So let's do that. So let's do motor block. I'll call this the motor is equal to register of item. This is actually going to need its own block item, not like a normal one. But for now, we'll just leave it as the normal one. And there we go. Going to extend the horizontal thing. So this one, and we also need that. So I'll copy those in. We're going to want those. And yes, we need a codec because goddamn vanilla. So we'll go map codec. Yes, like that. Exactly. That. And then we need the constructor, which is why it's complaining. Okay, and then in here we just need block entity type init dot motor dot what is it, instantiate? I think it's instantiate, pause and state. Are these codecs actually used? No, they're not. Like if you go find usages, you can see there's this here in block types, but it's not actually used anywhere, I don't believe. There's this. I don't know what this is. I don't think this is actually a thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's unused anyways. But it might be used in 1.22, maybe, in the new snapshots, I guess. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure it's not used at the moment anyways. So I think you can even just have it null, I think. No, I think it's fine. But you're probably not meant to have it null, so maybe don't do that. Okay, so it extends updatable block entity and is also going to implement something. Implements tickable entity. And it also needs to implement something else. It doesn't need a screen, right? I wouldn't say the motor necessarily needs a screen. I guess it could have a screen. Maybe you want to change like how fast it spins? Maybe? I think a screen is kind of unnecessary for that though, right? Like, maybe you could just shift right click it to do that. Yeah, I think. Oh god, yawning now. It's not good. What else do I need to implement though? Oh, does upper? No, it doesn't. And this isn't a multi-block, is it? No. I think this is fine. I don't think it needs a screen. Yeah, I don't think it needs a screen. That's unnecessary. There is one thing to note though. If it's right click and therefore shift right click to turn up or turn down like the motor speed, then how do you turn it off or on? That's a good question. Maybe it does need a screen. I feel like a screen is so overkill though. What do you guys think? Oh right, I've really shut myself off yawning now. That one single yawn has set me off. I think I'll have a screen. I'm not a huge fan of having a screen, but I think it's fine. Isn't this generic? Or have I implemented the wrong thing? Oh, I've implemented the wrong thing. I was going to say, I thought it was generic. There you go. Hello, would you like the constructor, please? Oh, it needs those methods first. Yeah, I think a screen is overkill. For now, I'm going to create a screen and not really put too much work into it, and we'll come back to it at some point in the future and figure out a way to do it without a screen. Sure, that's fine. This just needs to be a new block pos payload of this.pos. We need the title. Oops. Text title is equal text dot translate. No. Industria dot container title motor. There we go. I always forget that I have that method. Need to make sure I am actually using it. We'll do a new motor. It doesn't actually need a screen handler, but like there's no way it could ever need a screen handler. But we'll have one anyways, just possibly, I guess, to sync some integers. Oh god, no. How do I stop yawning, chat? How do I stop the yawning from getting to me? There must be a solution. Here we go. So extend, what is it? It's just screen handler, isn't it? Yes, and then the methods it needs are those ones. Yes, we actually don't need this one, so this one's just item stack dot empty. And then this one is just gonna use the context. So that is a private final. And we'll create the block entity first actually, and then we'll have a private final scene handler context, which is the context. And then this will just be can use, which takes in this dot context. This dot player. Oh no, not this dot player, just player, and then block in it dot motor. Like that. And then we need the constructor, which is that one. Yes. And then we also need the other one. So Copilot probably won't know what the other one is. So sync ID, layer inventory. And we can actually just take the player, can't we? I think we can just have the player. And then we need the other thing. The block pos payload. A cold head reduced how much we yawn? That doesn't make any sense. Why does that happen? I'm not sure that makes any sense. But I guess maybe. But I'm not opening a window because that means all the bugs will come in. So I'm not opening a window. I'd rather yawn than that. And then this dot context is equal screen handler context dot create, and then that. Yes. Have caffeine? Yeah, but I'm not tired. I'm not tired. I'm just yawning because, well, I don't know why. That's kind of the problem. This doesn't need the player. Can this not have the player, please? And also this doesn't need the player in that case. And this also doesn't really need the player, but it also kind of needs the player because that's how you have to register it, unfortunately. So we'll go init, screen handler init. There you go. And we'll go screen handler type of motor. Screen handler motor is equal that. Yes, perfect. It doesn't like that because it actually takes the inventory. That's interesting. In that case, I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to pass in the sync ID and the data, and I'm actually going to completely remove this parameter. Oh, no, I do actually need the player. Fine. Fine. We'll do that then. That's very stupid and annoying, but sure. That means we can now do that, which is like somewhat nice. There we go. That's good. It doesn't like this because we're passing in the player. Once again, we don't need to now do. That's fine. That's fine. Close that. We can close this. We cannot close this because we'll need that. So let's have in here a... What should we have the speed as? Do we have it as a float or an int? And we also need a way to know if it's like going clockwise or counterclockwise, right? Yeah, I guess a float. Yeah, I kind of agree with a float, but the problem with a float is that if we're going to have it in like the GUI, we don't necessarily want a float. But we can probably find a way to convert and have that work. We are going to also want an energy storage in here. We will have a private final wrapped energy storage, which is the wrapped energy storage, which is a new wrapped energy storage. And then we do add storage, a new syncing energy storage, and we'll do this. Set the capacity to maybe like 10,000. And then max input will say 1,000, and we'll say max output is 0. Yeah, I think you're capping, Basti. I'm not sure that yawning changing the blood flow. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that makes a huge amount of sense. Maybe it does, but I don't think it does. Read MBT. What does this need? Oh, that's fine. That just needs the registry lookup. And apparently it doesn't like that because that was an MBT list. So we actually need to say get list. Which reminds me that we also need to say if MBT dot contains rotation speed. Then we do that. And if MBT contains energy storage, then we do that. Because this needs a type. So this needs to be MBT element dot, I think it's just a compound. I've gone straight past. There we go. So then we're also going to want write MBT, which is pretty much just going to be that. And then we're going to want the update stuff. So we're going to want block entity update. And we're going to pass in this. Then we're going to want the chunk data, which is just going to be that. And then we're going to do write. Well, technically, we actually only need to put the float in there. So sure, we'll do that. And then, isn't there another one? What does Copilot reckon? That's not a thing. Don't be silly. That's not actually a thing, right? Yeah, it's not. Copilot's being silly. Okay. So basically what we're going to say how do we want to do this? We basically want to say that if it has energy, then what we're actually going to need here, we're going to need a current rotation speed and like a set rotation speed. So like current rotation speed, and then we're going to want like a target rotation speed. And then we'll also put that in here. And in here. And then, sure, I'll also put that in there, although it doesn't really need to be in there. But sure, we'll do that. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll say if that, yes, sure. Kind of. What I want to, yeah, this is kind of what I want to do, but only if it actually has energy. So what I'm going to say is if, let's do this actually. Let's get a public simple energy storage, get energy provider direction, and we're going to return this dot wrapped energy storage dot get storage null for now, because then we're going to create a simple energy storage get energy. Is going to return this dot wrapped energy storage dot get storage null, and then what I'll actually do is I will return this one in there, which I know seems redundant, but it's because that means that we can then come into here, energy storage dot sided dot register for block entity, motor block entity, get energy provider, and that. So that will then fix that. And this I'm actually just going to call ignored because it is technically ignored. So then what we can say is simple energy storage. Copilot should hopefully figure this out for me, maybe? No, not really. So if not energy storage dot, okay. Okay, if we don't have enough energy to reach the target rotation speed, do we just spin it slower? Or do we not spin it at all until we actually have enough energy? I think we should just spin it kind of as fast as we can, given the energy we have. I think that's probably the best way to do this. So let's do this. Let's create a private float or private, we'll do a private long actually. Or no, we'll do, I'm trying to think, do we want to determine how much energy we're going to use, or do we just want to determine how much rotation speed we're going to set it to? Okay, let's do this. Let's say long. We can actually make this static, sure. And we'll say get ticks per rotation. What does this do? What is this method trying to do? Oh, that's basically saying like how long it would take to do one rotation. Anyway, we don't need that. We need to determine how much energy it's going to take to reach our target rotation speed. Is basically what we want. So calculate energy for rotation. Sure. We can try that. We can try and see what that does. Although what it might be worth having is a float current, float target. And then basically, yeah, which will determine how much it needs to get to that point. Which is fine. So then we'll create a method. Okay, no, let's start with that actually. So let's say long energy cost. We need a method that can also reverse this. So we need to also have a method that will say that, yeah, basically. That's pretty much exactly what I was looking for, yes. Okay, what is... I'm always curious to see how Copilot would do what I'm trying to do. It's saying if we have energy, then we check if the current speed is not the target speed. Sure. But if it's not the target speed, then we calculate the amount of energy needed to reach the target speed. And then we extract that energy. And it's basically saying that if, and only if it's equal to that, then we set the current rotation speed. So that's actually not what we want anyways. So this also needs to be get amount. Is there an isEmpty method actually? No. Okay, good to know. So it calculates the energy required. Then what I'm going to say is basically if energy is less than what we have. How long will I be streaming today? I will probably be streaming for another 50-ish minutes, like, yeah, probably until the end of this hour, I imagine, is roughly how much longer I will be streaming for. That's my plan. It might go slightly over. We'll see. It depends kind of how far we get with this, I suppose. So if it's less than the amount, then what we want to do is we want to find out how much we can increase it by. Wait, no, I've done this the wrong way around. I wanted to do it the other way around. So I wanted to say if energy storage get amount is less than energy, I'm going to call this energy required. Then I'm going to set the target rotation speed to be calculate rotation. No, I'm going to set the current rotation speed. My pilot's messing me up here. Set the current rotation speed to be calculate rotation speed for the amount that we have. Now, else, we are basically just going to say trying to think here. What is this trying to do? It sets the current rotation speed to be the target rotation. The problem with this, with what I've got here, is that this will just straight up set it to that speed. Kind of want it to be like over time, so it like spins up to reach that speed, rather than like just jumping straight to that amount. So what I'm actually thinking if you have more than the required energy, it will set it to a higher speed. Energy required. I don't think it will. So, energy storage amount, right? So if we have energy, the current speed is not the target speed, then we're calculating the energy required to reach the target speed, right? To basically make up that difference. If what we have is less than what's required, then we're setting the speed to be the speed for the amount that we have. We then also do need to set the current speed as well. No, we need to set the energy, I mean. So this, we need to say energy storage dot amount will be equal 0. Sure. Because, yeah, at that point, you're basically using all the energy to reach that point. In the else statement, we want to do, yeah, minus the energy required, and then set the current speed to the target rotation. Okay, this isn't exactly how I want it to be, but this will be fine for just getting it working. Because what I want is that it does actually spin up to reach the target speed rather than jumping straight to it if we have the energy. But for now, this is fine. We can at least make it spin down very easily. So basically I can say this is equal to math helper will that work? I always forget how lerp works. I think that'll work, won't it? I'm just going to clamp it. So I'm going to clamp the value, which is this dot current rotation speed negative. I'll do like 0.01 between min and max. Max is the target rotation speed. And then I'm just going to actually hold this quickly. I'm going to say float previous rotation speed. And then I'm just going to say if they're not the same, then I'm just going to do an update. Which I didn't mean to do it quite like that, but yes, I want to update if they're not the same. Okay. I think this is all we need. Oh, I also realize do that. Not that changes anything, but okay. So I think this is everything, at least to get this, you know, starting to work. What we are going to need is an actual screen. That's quite important, of course. And therefore a way to change the target rotation speed. That will definitely be necessary. Let's actually create a method to do that real quick. I'm going to say public void set target rotation speed. And I'm going to set that to be math helper.clamp. We'll go between, should we go between 0 and 1 or? Sure. I mean, that's once again, I guess, something that could be configurable. But 0 and 1. Sure. Yeah. That's fine. Let's also create some getters as well. So get rotation speed and get the target rotation speed. And we don't need to be able to get the energy. Well, actually we do. We're going to need that in the screen. So we're going to want a public. Sure, I'll make that as a method too, because that might be useful in the renderer, actually. So sure, that's fine. But that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to say public long get energy. No, why are you doing that? Just get energy storage. There you go. And then public long get max energy. And then I'm going to create a, no, I'll create the floats in the menu. Sure. Screen handler, sorry. Public float get energy percentage. That's actually not going to work because those are both floats. So we need to say long energy. You know what? That doesn't really make sense, does it? Let's just get rid of those. Because we can already get the energy storage. So we can already just say simple energy storage, and then we can say long energy and long capacity. And if energy is equal 0 or capacity is equal 0, then we return 0. Else we just return math helper clamp that basically. Yeah, that's fine. So that gives it as a percentage, which is basically what we need. I am going to create a method. No, I'm not. That's fine. We will want a method to actually get the block entity though. There we go. Lovely. Whilst I remember, because otherwise I'm not going to remember, let's do the data gen real quick. So we're going to want a... No, we're not going to want a model. We're going to want a recipe. Oh, actually, we are going to want a model for the item. So we'll say built-in entity model builder dot write item model generator block init dot motor, and we're just going to do we'll do a default block for now. This isn't a multi-block, so I don't think it's going to need any special translations there. But kind of only way to find out is actually be in the game for that. We are going to want the lang, so I'm going to add text, and I'm going to do we add the block first or the... Yes, we actually do, or I do usually add first. So block init dot motor, and then add text and translation. Yes, that. Thank you. Good. Then let's do the loot table, which is just going to be a very simple add drop. And block tags. I actually haven't been doing the block tags because I kind of don't really care about that right now. And then recipes, once again, I'm not going to bother with that right now. It's just not really important. So that's fine, that's fine. Do we need to do anything here? Yes, we do. We need to set the default state, which you do how? Set default state, there you go. Get default state dot with facing north. Then we're going to want the property thing, this one, and we're going to add the facing. We're going to want the placement state, which is going to return horizontal, that one. We are also going to, yep, that's fine. What am I missing? There's something I'm missing. I'm not sure right now, but we'll do on use anyways. So if not world.isClient, then we're going to get the block entity. If it's instance of that, then we do that. Let's just do a cast there instead. And then let's return action result. Decided success with the client. We don't want the remove thing because we don't have an inventory. I think I am missing something. We should probably do a voxel shape actually. That will be quite trivial, I think. So let's go block bench quick. And what I'm basically going to do for this is I'm just going to create a cube. That. Pull it up. And then I am going to just quickly add the egg area. Even though it is just a single pixel, but it's fine. Like that. And I'm going to duplicate those there. And then I'm going to quickly grab this one. And I actually can't put it up here because the thing to note is that this is kind of centered. I guess what I could do is I could just make it a 2x2, actually, like that. And then all I need to do is delete these. I'm just going to delete the text just so I can see the shape here. I think that's fine, to be honest. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should just expand this by 1 so that I have those feet covered. Yeah. No, I don't have to have so many cubes. It makes it slightly bigger than it needs to be, but it also simplifies the shape a lot. So I'm happy to do that. And do you need to make these in a group? I don't remember. Voxel shape for fabric. There we go. And I'm going to put that in. Doesn't really matter. But we'll put it there. Discard. Find that. There we go. That's all I want. So delete that. We can go with the voxel shape. So private static final voxel shape. Shape is going to be equal to that. And I'm just going to simplify that as well. There we go. And then all I need is get shape, which is, what is it? Is it the, I think it's the outline shape is the one you do. I'm not sure. So I am actually going to check. Would it be the solar panel? No, that's the block entity. I meant the block class, please. Solar panel, where are you? What? I am going to want this. That is a mighty point. Go. And then I'm going to want my run calculation methods as well. Which at some point I'll find a way to abstract, but I haven't done that yet. Run shape calculation, which will just do that on the shape. So actually, I'm just not even going to do that at all. I'm just going to plonk that in there. Simplifies that a little bit. And then all I need to do is do that, basically. Oh, I need the ticker. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Because it does need to be able to tick. Go. That's that. And then get ticker. Get ticker. Going to return tickable block entity. Create ticker world. Boom. Then we're also going to need to do the renderer as well. So let's quickly go ahead and do that. That should be nice and simple. So we'll come into here. Block, create a new class. And I will call this the motor block entity renderer. Just going to implement block entity renderer of type motor. Let's implement the render method, and then let's also add the constructor. So we're going to want the context first of all, and then we're going to want the constructor. Yep, basically like that. That's fine. We're going to do matrices.push. Then we're going to do matrices.translate, which I think is 0.5, 1.5, 0.5. And then we're going to do matrices dot multiply, and we're going to do rotation axis dot x positive x 180. I think I'm trying to do this off the top of my head, but I am actually going to check though. 0.5, 1.5, 0.5 positive x 180. Yes. Then we also do need the positive y rotation for the horizontal facing, like that. Then we're just going to go ahead and render it. So let's create the model. So we'll go private, final, mode, model. Just going to model, and that's like that. And we'll just set that in here. Is the layer location. And then all this is going to need is model.render. Don't need the colors. We do, however, need the texture location, which I'm going to put in the model. Texture location. I think that's actually inside block. What is the motor meant to do? The motor is meant to spin like a motor does. That's pretty much it, to be honest. It's going to be used for the drill, and then it's also going to be used for the pump jack, and probably for other things in the future as well, I imagine. Those are just the two things I'm thinking of right now, but I'm sure there are other things that would be useful. Okay, I think that's it. There is one thing I should do though, and that is to put it in the renderer here. So block init dot motor dot has item, and I'm just going to pass in the motor. I keep accidentally closing chat. Oops. Here we go. Private final motor block entity. Motor is equal to a new motor block entity, and yeah, nice. So that will just render the item model for that. And then we do need to come into the main class, and we do need to register those. So we need to register the block entity renderer. So block entity renderer factories dot register block entity type init dot motor. There we go. And then also we're going to do the item as well. So that's just going to be block init dot motor. Go. I think that's everything. One very, very minor thing. We're going to go to the block init. I want to see what I set for the properties in here. Yeah, non-opaque, that's fine. That should be not a problem. And yeah, I'll clean this up at some point to get rid of all these variables, but I don't really care about them right now. I think that's everything. Oh, we need the screen, of course. That's very important. So let's quickly go ahead and do that. Shouldn't take long. We'll do it from scratch, I guess. It doesn't matter. Screen extends handled screen of type motor screen handler. Let's implement the draw background method, which all this is going to do is context dot draw. Is it draw GUI texture, or is it just draw texture? Or is it? I think it's just draw texture, isn't it? But it might be draw GUI texture. I'm actually not sure now. It's just draw texture. Yeah, I thought so. Let's create that in here. So we're going to go identifier texture. Going to be industria.id textures GUI container motor. We're going to draw the texture. This.x, this.y, 0, 0. Yeah, that basically. Then we're going to want render. And then in render, we're going to draw the thing. We're not going to draw the tooltip because we don't have an inventory, so that's fine. But we do want to draw the energy bar. So I'm quickly just going to open paint.net. And we'll create the GUI texture real quick. So let's go and open. I'll go and find it. We can go find it. Oh, I think my computer froze for a second. It didn't like that. I'm going to open this one. And basically, and we don't want this actually either, do we? So it seems like a bit of a silly GUI, really, doesn't it? Let's do this. Let's move this up, because it doesn't need to be as tall then, does it really? This is going to look really weird, actually. How tall is this? So that's 6 pixels. So really, there should be 6 pixels here too. That's about 6, I think. 6 pixels? That's not, that's less. No, that is 6 pixels. I actually got that right. I'm impressed. So then I'm going to save that. Do the motor. And what position is this? In fact, I'll just copy that from... I'll copy that. What size is this? 176 by 86. So we're going to go... Oh, we need the constructor. That is a good point. Okay. This.background width is equal 176. This.background height is 86. Lovely. And we are going to want to override init because I want to add a text field. I'll do that in a second. I'm going to go to the battery and I'm just going to copy this. And I'm actually just going to say, I'm going to leave it exactly like that, funnily enough, because that's going to be perfect. That's literally all I need. And this, once again, exactly the same. So get ng percentage, I will say get block entity. Sure, I'll just grab the simple energy storage, like that. And I'll just say energy storage dot get amount over energy storage. I'll get capacity. And I should really make this a widget, to be honest, at some point. But for now, I'm not too worried about that. In init, let's quickly go ahead and try and create a text field. The problem is I would like it to be a numbered text field, like just numbers. I don't think vanilla has a thing for that though, or at least it didn't last time I checked. We can have a look though. Number input widget. What's the text widget called? Text widget. What's it called? Input widget. Text field widget. Text field widget. Go to implementations. Does it have any? Good night, Basti. Sleep well. And hello, Lime. Welcome to the stream. Well, what is this? This is just a text field, but it's only for integers? I'm a little bit confused. Because I didn't think you could do that. Wait. Okay, does anyone know? Anyone know with structure blocks? Can you put in non-numbers into these? Because this just says it's a normal text field. It doesn't say... oh, it does pass int. What does that do? Oh, so if it's not a number, it just returns 0. Interesting. Sure. I guess that works. Okay. So let's create a private final text field widget. I'm just going to call this the target rotation RPM. Sure. Sure. I'm not sure it's actually going to be RPM, because I'm not sure I'm going to be able to calculate it like that, but sure. We'll stick with that. That can't be final either. So this is fine. And we'll do this. X render, this dot x plus 7, this dot y plus 7. Width is 50, height is 20. Sure. Text dot literal, no, this needs to be translatable. But for now, yes, I am actually going to keep that a literal. That's a good point. Why can't you use a normal text field and cast the int to a string? I think you've got it the wrong way around. The normal text fields are only strings, so I would need to somehow make it an int. Which is the problem, basically. So yeah, so where is this used again? This has a max length of 15. Kind of crazy. That doesn't really make sense, so it doesn't need to be that high. I think you can like set a validator or something. I seem to remember there was some kind of like yeah, you can set like a changed listener. Or a text predicate, sure. I don't know like exactly what this does. We can try. The problem is that's not really going to work. Sure, that'll work. Copilot's got it. That'll work. No, there's no point. There's no point doing that. I think the way vanilla does it is probably the right way to do it. Create a method for this real quick, which is just an int, right? And we're going to say float target rotation speed. Okay, that floors it. That's not... I'm just going to say times... I'm going to say target rotation speed times 60. Sure. Sure. I don't think it really matters, to be honest. As long as it can be translated to or from, it doesn't really matter exactly how that works. Set change to listener, pass in, set target RPM. Sure. Kind of. I want to say I'm actually going to create a method in this class to do that. So I'm going to say set target RPM to that. Else I'm just going to set the target RPM to 0. Basically, if it's not a number, then it'll just set it to 0. I'm going to rename it value. And I'm going to add selectable child. Yes. Copilot. To be honest, probably just do that. Right. And then let's create a method to do that. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say this dot block entity, this dot handler dot block entity, set target RPM. No, I'm just going to set target rotation speed to be target RPM. And then I'm also going to send a packet. I'm going to say client play networking dot send, and I'm going to send a new set motor target RPM, which is going to pass in that, and then quickly inside of the I'm a bit lost. The network. There we go. It took me a second. We're just going to add a float, which is the target M. And actually, this is wrong. This needs to be divided by 60. That. And sure, that's fine. Yes. We're going to want what? First of all, we're going to need to implement custom payload. Then we're going to actually want a ID. So we're going to say ID of set that, the ID, which is a new ID, which is going to be industrial.id, which is the set motor target RPM. Like that. Then we're going to want the codec. So that's going to be a packet codec of type set that, and then a byte buff codec, which is packet codec dot tuple, and we're going to say which way around is it? Is it like this? And then wait, which way around is it? How does tuple work? Oh, it wants the codec. Right. So packet codecs, and we're going to have a float, and then we're going to want the getter, and then we're going to want new. No? Is that not right? Oh, I've done it the wrong way around? Ah, I have. That would help. And we're just going to return. Lovely. Let's go ahead and make sure we register this. So let's go into the client, and no, not handle packets. It's the other one. Do we not register them in here? Am I going crazy? I think I'm going crazy. We don't do them in there. We do them in here. I think. Do we not? Oh, we do. Okay. Yep, I am just going crazy. Lovely. This is client to server, and we're registering that. Yes. And then we want to be able to handle it. So let's come down here. go server play networking dot register global receiver. We're going to go set motor target rpm.id. Motor screen handler, we get the block entity, set the target rotation speed to be the target, divided by 60. Fine. And then we just do block entity.update because it's changed, so we need to cause an good. That's good. Okay. What we also do need to do in the screen is we need to override the tick method, and we need to tick the field, I think. They're not called tick. Is there not a tick method? I could have sworn there was a tick method in text field. I thought the cursor ticked. Did they not? I guess not. Let's go back to that structure block screen. And I want to see in here. Huh, I guess not. Huh. Okay. What I do want to do though is I'm going to set the field text to be what the block entity has, so that it keeps up to date. Because otherwise that won't sync, because this text here is only set during init. So I need to be able to update it more often than that. And I think tick is probably the best way to do that. I don't actually need to call the super method, but well. So what I'll say is I will say if this dot handler dot block entity dot dot rpm, no, it's just get target rpm is not equal to that. I should make a way to do this actually. Let's say int field rpm is equals 0, and then we'll try that. I mean, yeah, but that's fine. So then we'll say if it's not equal to field rpm, then I set it to be that. Basically meaning that every tick it's going to check if the block entity's RPM has changed. If it has, then it's going to update the screen with whatever the block entity changed it to. Meaning that it should sync between clients. If one client changes it on their screen and then another client is looking at it, it should also change on theirs. In theory. That's the theory. We'll try it. We do need to register the screen though. Quickly go ahead and do that. Handled screens dot register motor. Perfect. Is there anything I'm missing? There must be something I'm missing. I don't know what. So there's really only one way to find out. And that's to give it a run and see what happens. We'll see if it works or not. Hopefully it does. Because if it doesn't, I'll be quite upset. Do you guys think it will work? That is the question. Okay. Good job no one answered that because it didn't work. What have I done wrong? Probably something stupid. Export client due to errors. Sure. Are you gonna tell me what the error is, please? Does it tell me here? Industrial client, so the issue is in the client. Cannot replace registration for entity model layout motor main. Oh. Oh. Yeah, that's not right. This should just be drill motor. I don't know how I managed to do that, actually. That's interesting. That must have been a Copilot shenanigan, I guess. Unless I just completely brain deadly did it. I am indeed pretty fast at debugging. I I do like to credit myself for that. I can generally figure out what something is quite quickly. I mean, it's just a matter of reading errors, really. The better you are at being able to read errors, you know, the faster you'll be able to debug stuff. And I've read a lot of errors in my time, so you can just kind of know. And hopefully this will work, but I'm honestly not too confident. In theory, everything should work, but apparently it doesn't because that hasn't worked. Probably because I didn't run the data gen. That would help, definitely, because that would give us an item mod. So let's run the data gen. Hopefully this will work. I need to also at some point figure out how to do buckets because I still can't get the item model to work for buckets. So I need to figure that out at some point. It shouldn't be that hard. I don't think it's that hard. I think I'm just being a bit of an idiot, but I forgot to build because I forget that you have to do that. Very annoying. There we go. Okay. It's very small. Why is it so small? Jesus baloney. How, why, who, when, where is it so small? Let's go here. I honestly reckon my copy modify methods aren't copying correctly, and I think it's actually just changing the default one. I reckon if I put it like, here, I reckon that would work. I reckon that would fix it. It's crazy if it does, but I think it will, honestly. How are you able to render 3D models with more than one rotation and not locked to Minecraft's limits? Basically just using entity models. So effectively, oops, I just I just started recording. Okay, sure. Didn't mean to do that. So basically, these are entity models, is how it works. So in Blockbench, when you create a model, you can choose either a block or item model, which is like the limited one, right? That's what gives you like a JSON model. Or you can create a modded entity, which means that you don't have those limits. There's basically no limits. The difference being it will render or it will export as a Java class instead of a JSON model, which does mean that you do need a renderer for it. So I have to have we come into the renderers here. I have to have a block entity renderer, which therefore means you do also need a block entity. Which, you know, if you yeah, it depends what you're doing, really. Obviously, I would recommend only doing this if you need a block entity, or if you really need a model that has that. And then items are slightly different because you have a dynamic item renderer instead. And this is kind of a bit of a mess, really, the way that Fabric does this. But yeah, the point is you basically need to have a model. So like my model files in sure, I'll open this. You can see that this is the actual model file here. So it's literally just code rather than a JSON. Which, yeah, it really depends on what you need it for, I would say. I think the limits are good for like vanilla style models, I would say. Also, interestingly, that has not fixed this. As for why, though, I don't know. Replace it down and see if possibly that's why. That would have helped. Yeah, I realize what's just happened there. That's not going to fix the item model, but I realize what's just happened. First of all, let's move this back up here because that clearly didn't change anything like I thought it would. But more importantly, let's go to the block class, and we need to override the shape method. What's it called? No, it's not called shape. It's layer or state. Get render type. Apparently, there you go. Return block render type. Block render type dot. We'll do entity block animated. Sure. And we'll need to restart the game for that. And actually, whilst this is doing, should we actually make it rotate? So should we grab float rotation speed is going to be equal to entity dot get rotation speed, and then I'm going to say so what I really want to do is say this dot model dot get the thing get. Wait, what model is this? This is the motor model. I thought I created a method to get the spin rod. Apparently not. Sure, get spin rod. I do actually need that then. So let's. Oh, I accidentally also ran data gen anyway, so it doesn't matter. Fine. But what I want to do is the. What's the Z? What's the Z? Is that roll? Roll the Z? Or am I not actually doing the Z? Am I doing the X? I'm trying to think. Is it the X or the Z? Pitch would be like that, right? I think what I want is roll. I'm trying to think what yaw is, and I don't remember what yaw is, but I think it's roll, what I want. And what I do also need, actually, is I need to store in the block entity a rotation value. So like a private float. Actually, it can be a public float because it's client side. So we can create a public float. And I will just call this the rod rotation client only, just as a note. It can exist on the server, but it's only accessed on the client, is what that means, by the way, for anyone curious. Oh, I forgot I have this get rotation map. I need to use that. Regardless. Wait. Oh, because that takes in the tick delta. I see. Wait, what? That gets the speed? That doesn't really help me though, does it? No, that's not why. What is this for? This is not helpful. I don't know why I thought that would be helpful. That's not at all helpful. Yeah, so we need the speed, and then we also need the current rotation. So I'm going to say rod rotation, like that, which is not right because that's just rod rotation, like that. And then I need to say, what I can say actually is entity.rod rotation plus equals that, and then this dot model dot spin rod. Okay, Copilot is insistent that it's the pitch. I don't think it's the pitch. To be clear, I think it's the roll. But since Copilot is so insistent it's the pitch, we're going to try the pitch first and see what it does. I'm pretty sure it's the roll, but I could be wrong, to be honest. It's quite hard to figure that out in my head. I should quickly actually... no, the pitch is always 0. That's fine. We'll try that. I don't think that's going to do exactly what I want it to do, but we'll see. I'm sure it's not the pitch, but we're going to trust Copilot for, which is a thing you should never do, by the way, guys. Do not trust Copilot or any AI, really, because they're wrong like 90% of the time. But we're trusting it. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not sure why the item renderer isn't working. That is very interesting to me. Yeah, we'll have to see about that. Okay, so. Are you guys ready? Do you think it will work this time? Uh-oh. Oh, I thought it crashed. Oh, it's very small. Maybe that's why. I think it's very small. Okay, so... I don't see a text field, first of all. And the inventory is also being rendered, which we don't want it to do. Let's quickly go ahead and fix that, shall we? So let's go into the... I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Into the screen. Yes, screen. And we're going to get rid of... I don't really know how to actually get rid of it. Could I just set it to be text.empty? Text.empty? Can I do that? No. Well, you know what I'm going to do then? I'm just going to set it to be equal to integer.max value. So that will be gone. Hopefully. Yes, it is. Good. I don't think that's really how you're meant to do it, but it works. So that's what I'm doing. I'm really not actually sure why the X field widget isn't working. So what are we saying? We're saying it's that this.x plus 7, this.y plus 7. Is it actually here or not? I don't think it is, you know. We can breakpoint this and see what it says. It is being created. we see what the X and Y are? 132, 84. Huh. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Let's give it power. And we'll see what happens. Sure, solar panel. I can see a whole lot of nothing. Maybe the solar panel doesn't work. I think it should, but maybe it doesn't. Oh. Huh. Okay. Max input is 1000. Max output is 0. That's fine. Previous speed is not equal to current speed, then it causes an update. Is that spinning? Not spinning. Huh. Is this... Huh. This is just buffering it. It's like it doesn't even have an energy storage. Why not? Why not? Trapped energy storage. Adds a storage. Do I need to say... I don't need to say the side, do I? No, because that just defaults to null. Which I think is fine. And I'm pretty sure in here I did the thing, didn't I? Yes. Just returns the energy storage. Ignored. Yes. So if we step into there, storages. So get storage null. What does that do? That just returns the first one. So that should just return an energy storage. Oh, it's saying it's full. That's very interesting. Oh, you know what it is? You know what it... No. Yes. You know what it is? No. Yes. Yes. It's because in here I'm not syncing it. I'm not syncing it. So I need to actually just do write MBT. And I think... No? Really? 1 second. There you go. Okay. So now why is nothing happening? Why is it not rotating? So, we get the storage, right? If the amount is greater than 0, it is. Oh, because the target is 0. Right. Maybe the target probably shouldn't default to 0. But we can't actually change that. Oh, we can. Actually, we can, I believe. We can set the target to maybe 0.75 or something. Right. So if I hot swap that, and then I destroy and replace it. Okay. Yes, but also no. It would help if I pivoted the this. Yes, that would that would help, wouldn't it? So let's save that, and then let's also export the Java entity. And I'm just going to do that, and all I'm actually going to do, not that, is in here. I'm going to grab the new part, which is this, and I'm just going to copy this part, since all the rest should be exactly the same. So I think I can do that, and that also means I should even be able to hot swap it still. Also, Copilot was right, actually. I'm somewhat surprised about that. Copilot was right. It is the pitch. So, well done, Copilot. You've done well. So I will have to reload F3 and T, which should reload the renderer. And therefore, it works. Okay. So now the big question is, why is there no text field? And that is a very important question, actually. So, and then once that's working, that's it, right? So maybe I do need to add it afterwards. I don't think so, but maybe. No. Selectables is something that's renderable, right? Or do I need to do add? Oh, I need to do add drawable. There you go. This is why you don't trust Copilot, chat. This is why you do not trust Copilot. It does things like that. Okay, so if I set this to even just like 4, yeah, that's way slower now. And if I set it to like 70, it actually maxes out at 60, of course, but that works. Now if I set it to like, it's actually quite hard to type like 10 or something because you have to remove it, but you can see that does work. And hypothetically, like when it's a higher number, right, like 60, for example, it should be consuming more energy. I mean, that's going to be effectively impossible to know, I guess. What we could do, we could have a basic battery. Put that in there, right? That fills up the battery just for a little bit. And we'll just judge it based on, like, looking at it, pretty much. So the problem is this is kind of generating 103. Although, shouldn't this be consuming 600? Right? Wait, I'm pretty sure this should be consuming 600 per tick, though. Let's go to the block entity real quick. Here. Calculate energy for rotate. Oh, because the current... Oh, it's consuming nothing. Because the current is the target. The current is the target. So that means current negative target is 0 times 10 is 0. So it's actually consuming 0 energy. So really, the current doesn't matter. It should just consume the target. And what that means is that it should go down. It doesn't seem to be going down, though, I will admit. It's still not consuming anything, is it? So what is the target? The target is going to be 1, right? Oh, because that's consuming... Right. 1 times 10. No, but that's still consuming 10, bruh. That's still consuming 10, so why is it not changing? Why is it not changing? Energy storage. Energy storage amount minus equals energy required. Let's just quickly... Oh, because the current rotation speed is the target rotation speed. So this is irrelevant. This if statement just doesn't need to happen whatsoever. And so by doing that, now that goes down. Okay, I'm going to make this times 100. I'll do, here we go. What I'll do is I'll do times 60 times 100. Okay, maybe not times 100. So now that will consume a maximum of 600 per tick. So obviously that's only producing... Yeah, I don't think this is quite working though. Even if I do that, that's producing 467. So hypothetically, this speed that it's running at should only be well, it should be what, like 46.7 divided by 60, I guess. Like if I go here, yeah, 46.7. Oh. Oh. The actual speed is being set to 46.7. The still current rotation speed is equal. Calculate rotation speed of... Oh, yeah, that's not right. Wait, what is energy required then? No, wait, that can't be right. What's the energy required? The energy required is 600. Right? So energy storage amount. So it gets to here. Wait, but the amount isn't... Oh, it is. It is. Yes, it is. So current rotation speed is the rotation speed based on the amount of energy we have. So yeah, this is now wrong because that's now not meant to be that. I think is why. Yeah, so now that's much slower. And it will go even slower if it's powered less. Yes. But then if it's powered more, if we grab like I think solar panels generate more power, don't they? They don't. Okay. I thought they did for some reason. So if I power it more, like this, right? You can see that it's now able to actually reach the maximum. And I mean, hypothetically, you could probably even get it to even out. Yeah, you see that's now consuming all the energy. Even with, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wind turbines. That's consuming 467. That's not right. Is that right? Because how is that staying at 467? The only way is if... Okay, yeah, these cables... Yeah, like, why is this still... Why is this holding a buffer, actually? That's not right. This shouldn't be holding a buffer. Oh. It actually was... Okay, there's something wrong here. There's definitely something wrong here. But sure. Yeah, there you go. So now it's over the amount, and so it goes up. That's fine. Oh no, that's because this is giving it energy. Yeah. Okay, this is a little bit confusing, but I kind of understand what's happening. If I do something like this, now that's able to produce more than this is using. If I remove that, move that. We've got to wait for these buffers to empty out though. Assume one of these is buffered. Apparently not. There you go. So now that's consuming more than it's producing. But it's like it's pretty much equal. Anyways, it works. The point is, it works. It may not be perfect, but it does work. So that's kind of all I needed to know. And then kind of the next thing we need to do, I guess, is make it so you can give the drill the motor, and then it will kind of display in the model the motor, which shouldn't be too hard. Also, does this work for rotations? It does. I also need to fix the particle. I have no idea how you fix the particle, to be honest. I assume I make a block model for that. Do the particle? I don't know. That's a wonderful question. If anyone does know, let me know. Anyways, I think that's about it for this stream. We've been going for how long? I don't know. 2.5 hours. I think that's long enough. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know we didn't do a huge amount once again, but we did get this working, which is pretty neat. And that does mean that quite soon we should be able to get it working on here. It should be trivial, actually. At least that's my hope. Because all it should require is basically having another slot, like the drill head, and then, like the drill head, rendering a model conditionally, based on whether or not there's a motor in there. I mean, we could even probably do that right now. Shall we? Should we do that right now? I mean, I don't think it's that hard. I could be overlooking something, but I feel like this is very easy to do that. Okay, we're doing it right now. We're doing it right now. This is going to be easy. It's going to be easy peasy peasy. We need to add another inventory, so we need to add this dot wrap inventory storage dot add inventory, a new pretty good simple inventory, which is going to be this. It's going to have a size of 1, and we're going to say that this will check if the stack.getItem is of, or we actually just say stack is of block init dot motor as item. Like that. We'll put it north for now. It doesn't really matter. We don't need to do anything in there. We don't need to do anything in there. Yep, that's it. That's all we need to do in here, I believe. I might want to maybe get a have a method to get that. So get motor inventory, like that. We're not going to make it functional, we're just going to make it render, by the way. We'll do functionality some other time, because that's a little bit more complicated. But just getting it to render should be easy. We need to add it in the screen handler as well. So let's do screen handler, and we're going to add another slot, basically exactly the same as this. We are going to need to pass in a simple inventory, which is the drill. No, this is the motor inventory. I'm going to plonk that in there. Is enabled. Sure. We're just going to have that. Inventory is what, by the way? Inventory is... Oh, that's in the slot class. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We're going to change the Y position, though. So we're going to change the Y position to... Sure, 53. Whatever. We're going to create another simple inventory, which is the motor inventory. And we're going to pass that in here. So motor inventory, output inventory. Once again, quick move. That's a future thing because that doesn't work anyways. And then that's it for this, I believe. Let's go into the renderer. Into the drill, drill. I can't see it. Where is it? Drill frame. There you go. I couldn't see that for a second. No, that's the model, not the renderer. That's why I couldn't find it. There you go. Okay, and then we're going to create the model, I guess. So we're going to have a private final. And I'm going to call this the motor. What was it? The drill motor? Drill motor model. That's it. The motor model. Actually, just motor model. Fine. We'll do that. Then we're going to say. Should we do it before or after the drill head? It doesn't really matter. I think we'll do it before though. So we'll say matrices.push. We're going to do the... Oh no, we don't need to do this. We just need to do if entity dot motor inventory dot is not empty. Then we're going to do this. I don't think we're going to need to push or pop anything. We're going to get the... No, we're not going to do... The layer that we need to get is going to be the texture that's inside the model. So I'm going to specify that in here. I'm going to go identifier texture location is equal that. In here we can then do the drill motor model dot texture location and close off that bracket there. I'm pretty sure we don't need the push and pop, so I'm not even going to bother with that. And then I think that's it, you know. I honestly think that is it to get that working. So I'm going to restart the game and we're going to see what happens. I'll be very surprised if it does work in a way. I also won't be surprised. Yeah, I won't be surprised either way, to be honest, because I kind of think it will work, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't work. So we'll have a look and see what happens. Hopefully it does work, though. If it does, that'll be very nice, getting this working first try. So fingers crossed, everyone. Fingers crossed. You better have your fingers crossed. Otherwise, I'll be very upset. And it'll be your fault if it doesn't work. I'm sure I've probably missed something. I have missed something. Container size 1 is smaller than expected 9. Huh? What? Wait, what? Okay, whoever didn't cross their fingers, this is your fault, by the way. But also, what? What is happening? Check size. Output inventory of size 9. Container size 1. Oh, you know what it is? Because this is now index 2. This, chat, is why you don't do things by indices. You don't do things with indices. Bad. There you go. We need to add a thing to the texture there, though. Oops, I didn't mean to open Edge. Let me just quickly see if I can find the texture. There it is. I'm going to quickly just duplicate the slot and put it down. This is probably is not final location for this slot, but for now, it'll be fine. So we'll just build and reload, and I forgot you can see it twice. Lovely. So F3 and T. There we go. Okay, so let's grab the motor. And let's put it in. And boom. That's it. That is it, chat. Look at that. That worked first try. So with the motor out, you can't see it. With the motor in, you can see it. And that should be fairly easy to get working, realistically. It's basically just a matter of saying, like, you can't press this button if there's no motor, and if the motor is not powered, then it also doesn't work. That's basically it. So that should be trivial to get working. The hardest part really is going to be having this rotation of this beam dependent on the rotation of this, which depends on the rotation of this. It shouldn't be too hard, but it's a little bit of work to get that, probably. And then, yeah, and then it's basically, I need to draw some kind of like wire around the thing here and connect that up to this instead of, you know, that going straight up to the roof there. And then after that, it's a matter of adding different drill heads. So I want to add a drill head which actually can like drain fluids. And then we're also going to want a drill head which can place blocks as it comes up. Both of which should be quite easy to do. But honestly, we're almost done with the drill. Yeah, I think we're almost done with the drill, realistically. I need to obviously do these buttons. I need to make them toggle buttons, which that shouldn't be too hard. But yeah, that's it, basically. Yeah, that is it. There isn't much else to say, really. So I'm quite happy with this. Honestly, I think this is a decent amount of work that we've got done here. So yeah, that's it. So obviously, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. As for when I will next be streaming, I don't know. Hopefully soon, but I will need to kind of get started with a lot of my uni work very soon. So possibly not. We'll see. Hopefully soon. Also, I do need to fix this drill head because
keeps randomly spinning, and it's getting on my nerves. It probably won't do it whilst I'm watching, but it does keep spinning every which I need to fix as well. But yeah, that is it for this stream. So yeah, I will see you all in the next stream or tutorial. Tutorial might come first if you're lucky. I think it might actually come first. You might have a tutorial before the next stream. But yeah, I will see you then. Goodbye.